Hello everybody, we are back with another episode of Story Shutro, which I'm sure all of you are eagerly waiting for. So welcome to this new episode of Story Shutro, your world of spoken tales, where we will continue the story The Red Knight. Let us pick up from where we had left off in part 1. But before that, if you still have not yet subscribed to Story Shutro, please do so now. And please click the subscribe button and also the bell icon to receive all notifications directly to you. So let's begin The Red Knight Part 2. I had not heard such a deafening sound ever in my life. It was as if everything around us had exploded in a fiery blast suddenly. We were all shaken and thrown to the ground. But the two young gunmen quickly recovered and rushed out of the tent, leaving me alone. I peered through the opening of the tent, and what I saw sent my blood curdling. The tents in the clearing were up in flames, and the men and women with guns were running and firing helter-skelter. Sound of gunfire quickly enveloped the area, and smoke and darkness made it difficult to see anything. "Bahar aiye! Come out of the tent!" a man shouted to me in Hindi sharply. Before I could even react, he yanked me up by my arm and threw me on the ground outside. Seconds later, the small tent where I was housed went up in flames as a grenade shell dropped on it. "Sahib, this way, quick!" A bearded man in dark green attire with a gun in hand pulled me by the shoulder as I stood rooted to the spot in utter panic. His head and face was covered in the usual red checked headscarf, as was worn by many in the group. I blindly ran after him into the darkness. I thought that a sound, familiar voice. Almost out of nowhere, from amongst the bushy undergrowth, the man revealed a jeep. He patted the seat next to him as he took the wheel, and I jumped in. Driving precariously in the darkness without headlamps, the jeep bounced up and down, almost throwing us off at every turn. A thought quickly crossed my mind. Was this an escape plan? Or was I being taken hostage? The jeep stopped with a sudden jerk, and the man thrust his hand out to push me away from the jeep. I noticed a lamppost with a faint light nearby and a broken brick wall amidst some trees. "Go to the house, you will be safe. Dr. Behra will come soon." The man spoke in a gruff voice as I alighted from his jeep hurriedly. He turned his head away abruptly, and with that movement, his headscarf moved, revealing the pockmarks on his left cheek. Before the jeep drove away back towards the dark forest, I recollected the man from my station and lodge last evening. He had somehow seemed to have saved my life. It had started to rain by then, and I looked around to find my bearings. I walked slowly towards the lamppost a few feet ahead and then recognized the house, Dalton Villa. So it was Marcus who had planned the escape for me. Perhaps he had sensed danger already. But what about him? I had no idea about his safety or what had happened to him. A few stray dogs barked in the distance. The rain had started its splatter by then. I limped across the broken gate and into the courtyard. The mango tree still stood there, illuminated by the faint light from the lamppost just outside the gate. Dalton Villa was not unknown to me. Even in the darkness, I could make out that the place had been intermittently used. It was not totally unkempt. Fumbling along, I reached the upper floor of the two-story house and limpingly entered the main bedroom. The only furniture there was a table and a few chairs. Perhaps Marcus and his group used this house as a hideout sometimes. Thankfully, I found a couple of burnt candles and a matchbox on the table. I lit one of the half-burnt candles and opened the door to the balcony. From there, I could get a good glimpse of the courtyard, the mango tree, the broken gate, and beyond. It has been more than 2 hours now, yet Marcus has not returned. I am waiting and waiting for him. It was getting late enough to be worried. I once again stepped into the balcony and looked down. Except for a drenched street dog that was lying down miserably near the gate, there was not a soul to be seen anywhere. Rainwater had puddled under the lamppost. A breeze ruffled the mango tree in the courtyard, and a few twigs fell down and broke. Thunder rumbled in the distance. I had made my notes in my diary by then. And did I now hear a soft knock at the door? I turned back. Rishiraj sat dumbfounded in the office of the Deputy Commissioner of Police. A slightly tattered small notebook was held in his hands. Thankfully, your friend had left your coordinates in this notebook, which helped us to immediately establish contact with you, the DCP said, breaking the long silence which had ensued in the room. I have read your friend's note, he continued. Let me give you the rest of the details. The Central Reserve Force and the Jharkhand police teams already had information about the high-level meeting of the rebel group at Kalapahari and had made adequate preparations for an ambush. You may have read the newspaper reports about Operation Red, which was carried out successfully a few days ago here. The DCP paused. Taking a heavy breath, he continued after that. However, there is some additional information of interest for you. As per the account of a special police team from the location of the attack, the police had followed a rebel leader and tracked him down to a house on the outskirts of the forest. Apparently, this rebel leader had come there to meet your friend, and both of them were escaping when the police opened fire on them. The DCP paused. Rishiraj looked up in earnest appreciation. He was thrilled and also was anxious at the same time. During the shootout, the rebel leader suddenly hit your friend in the head and chest with the butt of his rifle, and he immediately slumped to the ground with the blow. This sudden surprise action from the rebel leader startled the police, and in that brief, fortuitous moment, the leader took a turn and escaped. The police did fire after him, but he fled into the darkness of the forests. We are not sure if the bullets had hit him. It was only later that the police learnt that your friend was a journalist from Calcutta and not a part of the rebel group. So there must have been some personal connection between your friend and this rebel leader. Had not the rebel leader hit him unconscious, your friend would have surely been mistakenly shot by the police. It beats us as to why the leader would save the life of your friend. There has to be some story behind this. While we waited for your friend to recover, we thought we shall speak to you as well, as it is very clear that the writing in this notebook is intended for you. It carries your name, Mr. Rishi. Rishiraj suddenly picked up something from the table, which looked like an identity card. Seeing that, the DCP said, "Oh, that's something which was also found at the place where your friend had fallen unconscious. It was collected along with your friend's backpack and some other items." Rishiraj turned the card over in his hand. It was an old identity card issued by a local NGO of Daltonganj. The name read Dr. Marcus Behra. With that, we come to the end of the story, The Red Knight. We would love it if you share your thoughts with us in the comments box. If you liked and enjoyed the story and what you thought of it. Request you once again to like, comment and subscribe to Story Should Throw and share with your friends as well. We'll be back with another exciting story very soon on Story Should Throw, your world of spoken tales. Au revoir and take care.